Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Saliva Cast, where salivary science meets clinical practice. I am your host, Dr. Deborah Haller, dentist, scientist, and founder of Saliva Pro. I'm also the immediate past president of the Salivary Research Group of the IADR. And today, I want to bring to you something that is really revolutionizing diagnosis, prevention, and even treatment across medicine and dentistry. And that is that saliva is the new blood in health diagnosis. Yes, I said it. The saliva in your patient's mouth may be even more powerful than you think. In this episode, we will explore three breakthrough uses of saliva. First, we'll talk about a saliva based test for prostate cancer that just saved two lives in the UK. And I don't know if you heard the saying, there's a saying, if you save one life, is like if you save the entire universe. So there you go. You can see the potential of this test. Also, I want to bring you here for the first time a needle-free vaccine. Yes, perhaps you're listening to this for the first time here at Saliva Cast. A needle-free vaccine applied with a dental floss. And let's end this Saliva Cast talking about stress sensor through saliva. A stress sensor hidden in a piece of floss that can detect salivary cortisol in real time. So let's begin. Let me tell you a true story. Two brothers in the UK, Dheeraj and Joel Turnbull, were considered low risk for prostate cancer based on traditional screening. But then Dheeraj participated in a research study using a new saliva-based genetic test that analyzes 130 DNA variants related to prostate cancer. This is called a polygenic risk score, or PRS. To everyone's surprise, the test showed that, in fact, Dheeraj had high risk for prostate cancer, high genetic risk. This led to further investigation, and guess what? An aggressive silent tumor was found just in time. His brother, Joel, seeing the results, got tested too. The same thing happened. Two brothers, two invisible risks, and two lives saved because of saliva. This test doesn't replace the PSA blood test. Pay attention. This test does not replace the PSA blood test. It complements it. It reduces false positives. It increases the detection of aggressive cancers, and it can be done at home. And yes, it's already in use in the UK. The study was just published in the New England Journal of Medicine. I think it's one of the most, if not the most prestigious journal in the world. And as dentists, we are not the ones diagnosing cancer, but we are the gatekeepers of oral health, and we can educate, inform, and refer. And when I talk here, not the ones diagnosing cancer, I'm referring to cancers that don't affect, of course, the oral cavity and the throat. So the mouth holds more answers than we once believed. What if now I told you about a vaccine that is delivered by a dental floss? What if I told you that a team of biomedical engineers just developed a vaccine using dental floss? It started with a simple observation. The gingival sulcus, the space between tooth and gum, we are very much familiar with it, is highly permeable to molecules. Inspired by studies on gingivitis, engineer Harvinder Gill and his team had this wild idea. What if we delivered vaccines through gum? Yes, you heard it right. What if we delivered vaccines through gum? So here's what they did. They soaked a piece of floss with fluorescent protein and ran it along the gum line of anesthetized mice. So it began with an animal study. 75% of the protein was absorbed. And then they repeated the test, this time embedding an inactivated flu virus in the floss. And the mice developed a strong systemic immune response. And when exposed to real flu, the vaccinated mice survived, the others didn't. And the results lasted. Antibodies were found in their airways, spleens, saliva, and even feces. The immune response was strong actually as nasal vaccines. And the team then, after this animal study, the team then tested human volunteers with flavored floss sticks. And 60% of the dye was absorbed through the gums. And most people say, of course, and I guess you agree with me, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer this method over a needle? My guess is yes. The future, you come for cleaning right here in my dental office, in your dental office, and you leave immunized without a shot, no needles. That's how far the science of oral mucosa has come. Now, let me ask you, ever wanted to measure your patient's stress levels without drawing blood? Scientists at Tufts University in Boston have developed a dental floss sensor that can measure salivary cortisol in real time. Yes, you heard it right. Here's how it works. The floss absorbs saliva through capillarity. Inside, it contains a sensor that recognizes cortisol molecules, and it sends a signal to a digital reader. The same technology could soon detect, as the scientists involved in this project mentioned, they could also use this for estrogen monitoring for fertility monitoring, glucose for diabetes, cancer biomarkers, and even multiple markers at once. Why cortisol? Well, because chronic stress affects everything from blood pressure and immunity to mental health and oral inflammation, and even sports performance, like we see every day at Saliva Pro Sports. So the idea is to bring stress monitoring to the patient's daily life using a tool they already know, dental floss. While the sensor isn't yet commercially available, salivary cortisol testing already is, and it's gold standard in labs across the world. That's right. I challenge you right now. You're tuning into Saliva Cast. You call any clinical exam laboratory in your city, in your town. Doesn't matter which country you are right now. You call them right now and you ask, I want a cortisol test for my patients. And you ask them, do you have saliva-based cortisol test? I hope they have, because saliva is the gold standard fluid for measuring cortisol. So my guess here is that they will have this test already in your country. The dentist of the future is already using saliva to monitor much more than just cavities. So let's recap what we talked today at Saliva Cast. We talk about the genetic test using saliva, identified 2 silent cancers and saved 2 lives. Yes, that's correct. You heard it right. We then talked about a floss-based vaccine that could transform how we prevent disease. And finally, I talked to you about a floss sensor for cortisol that could put real-time stress monitoring in our hands, in your hands. So this is not science fiction. This is science, and this is science already happening in clinical practice. Saliva is here to stay. Saliva is the new blood in health diagnosis. Are you using it yet? If you want to bring salivary diagnostics into your clinical practice, I invite you to subscribe to our newsletter and follow me for more. You find my newsletter link on my Instagram profile. I'm Dr. Deborah Haller on Instagram. This is a new profile, all in English. I have my older profile still in Portuguese, a dentista cientista in Portuguese, and I also have this all English spoken Instagram profile, Dr. Deborah Haller on Instagram. And you're also welcome to visit our website, salivapro.com. And don't forget to share this episode with a colleague who still thinks saliva is just spit. Yes, it's revolutionizing health diagnosis, is ready for clinical practice, and yes, it's science and it's already happening. I will see you at the next Saliva Cast.